That's pretty interesting if you really think about it. Having a personal line of credit or a personal loan from PenFed is a great opportunity not only to build credit but also to establish a relationship with a great institution. So, in today's conversation, I want to explain to you how to get approved for a large amount of a personal line of credit with bad or fair credit from PenFed Credit Union. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as splendid as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today's convo, I want to speak to you about PenFed Credit Union Personal Line of Credit. How to get approved for a large amount with bad or fair credit. The first thing you need to do is to join PenFed. PenFed is a credit union, and as such, it requires to have membership before you can open an account, okay? And the cool thing here is that anybody can join PenFed. A lot of folks mistakenly believe that you have to have a military affiliation either through your job or your family or through your location to qualify. No. Nowadays, everybody can actually qualify for membership through PenFed, okay? Not a problem. What you have to do, you have to contact them. They have a phone number. It's 1-800-247-5626, 1-800-247-5626. And that's all you have to, you just have to contact them and they will explain to you what to do. It is true that originally PenFed was created to serve U.S. military members and veterans of all branches, as well as federal employees and retirees. And formerly, they required non-government and non-military applicants to donate to a military charity to be eligible for membership. But they no longer require this, okay? As long as you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident of the United States, you can join Pentagon Federal Credit Union by simply funding a savings account with at least $5, okay? So Pentagon Federal Credit Union, for those who don't know this, is still the same thing as PenFed. And so in terms of eligibility, you need to fund a savings account with at least $5. I just said that. You must be a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. You must have a government issued photo ID. You must be at least 18 years old. And this is what it is. And one thing I want to say here is that the line of credit, they are very strict when it comes to the eligibility requirements. And I want you to please take some notes today because PenFed loan underwriters have a strict requirements in terms of your income, in terms of your employment, in terms of the kind of account you need to have with them to qualify, okay? And this is important, especially if you have less than stellar credit, which is the focus of today's conversation, okay? So after joining the credit union, you need to do, the next thing you need to do is to open at least two accounts. At least two accounts. Now, the good thing about PenFed is that they are an all-in financial institution. Of course, they're not an institution, but they're a credit union. But they do have all the accoutrements, if you will, all the paraphernalia of a traditional financial institution. So they actually offer checking accounts, savings accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts. Okay, so I want you to open at least two accounts, what we call here asset accounts. So you got to open a checking accounts. They have a product called Access America Checking. So here you have no monthly service fees with a daily balance or a monthly direct deposit of $500 or more. You can also open, we suggest strongly that you also open a savings account. So they have their premium online savings and they have the money market certificates, okay? And the interest rates are kind of low right now, so don't really, you're not doing this for the interest. You're not doing this for the APY, the annual percentage yield. No, because they're very low right now, but you just want to have them. So you want to establish a relationship with PenFed Credit Union, okay? And for the money market account, for the money market certificates, you have to invest at least $1,000. Okay, so you can qualify for the 1.1% annual percentage yield, and it is a 5-year term. So your money will be locked for 5 years. So I want you to think about that. You can also open a PenFed certificate. So here they have security. They have money market certificates. They have IRA certificates. Okay, and they also have the Coverdell Education Savings Certificate. So you have to really see what works for you, what kind of products applies to your particular situation, if you need that kind of products at all. But at a minimum, you got to open a banking, checking, and a savings account. And folks, it is very important, because if you want to establish a relationship with them before applying for a loan or applying for a line of credit, you need to do that. Okay. They also offer IRAs, internal individual retirement accounts, right? So they offer IRA certificates. So this is kind of cool, especially if you want to buttress your retirement, your golden years. You want to solidify your retirement years. That's kind of cool to put some cash on the side, right? So IRA certificates, great products, and they have APY as high as 1.05%. So this is kind of cool just to check it out. The third thing I want you to do, if you are trying to get approved for a large line of credit with a better fair credit from PenFed, I want you right now to understand PenFed line of credits and loans. PenFed has a variety of credit products, and it's important for you to familiarize yourself with the product that you are trying to get, right? So today we're trying to get the line of credit. So the thing here is that the cool thing about a personal line of credit is that the funds are available when you need them, anytime, for anything you want. This is pretty cool, right? You have flexibility here, and the payments are based on the amount you actually use, not on the amount of your line of credit. And you can use your line anywhere you would use a check. This is fantastic. You have a fixed rate of 14.65% APR, credit lines up to $20,000, and free checks to access your line. And they have a fast review, so you can apply for a loan today and get a decision as soon as tomorrow. This is pretty good. They have a very fast review process that will put more time back into anything else you want to do. And this is pretty rare when it comes to credit unions. Sometimes they take days just to make a decision. But PenFed is pretty good at getting back to people, getting back to borrowers pretty fast. Now, I also want to talk to you about the personal loan from PenFed. Of course, today's conversation is focusing on the personal line of credit, but I just want to let you know that we have actually covered the personal loan from PenFed in another show. But it's good to know that here, you just want to know that they do also have personal loans up to $50,000 and APR as low as 5.99% APR, right? Variable. Terms up to 60 months. No, the APR is fixed, not variable. So once they decide it, it's fixed throughout the term of the loan. There is no early payoff penalty. There is no origination fee, no hidden fees. Okay. And the cool thing here is that with the line of credit and personal loan, you check your rate without affecting your credit score. You can select from multiple pre-approved offers, and you can receive your money in 1 to 2 days after verification. So this is really good. And one thing I want to say is that PenFed generally, they can go as low as a 550 in terms of FICO score. Okay, they do have products for folks who have good to stellar credit. However, they also have products for folks who have a bad to fair credit. The only thing is you're going to have to pay more in terms of APR, and you might get a lower amount, but you can still get qualified. One thing I want to say to you right now, number 4, you want to familiarize yourself with PenFed credit cards. And here is a big decision time for you. Do you have credit cards right now? I bet you do, right? Do you have a PenFed credit card, or do you have a NavyFed credit card? What kind of credit cards do you have? Do you have a rewards credit card, a cashback credit card, a credit card that is great for balance transfers? What kind of credit cards do you have? It's important because, again, our conversation today is focusing on where the conversation revolves around the personal line of credit, but you want to know what kind of credit cards PenFed issues, so that maybe if you don't get approved for the line of credit, you might qualify for the credit card. Okay, this is why I really want to go through this with you quickly. So PenFed has great constellation of credit cards. So they have the Platinum Rewards Visa Signature Card. This is a rewards credit card. So you have 5x points on gas paid at the pump and EV charging stations. You have 3x points at the supermarket, right? You have 1x points on all other purchases. And then you have the PenFed Pathfinder Rewards Visa Signature Card. Here you have a 50,000 bonus points when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days. You have 4x points on all travel categories for PenFed Honor Advantage members. You have a 3x points on all travel categories, and you have 1x points on all other purchases. This card has an annual fee of $95, so this is pretty good to know, but they will waive it if you are an existing Honors Advantage member. And we also have the Power Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card. Here you have a 2% cash back on all purchases for PenFed Honors Advantage members, 1% cash back on all purchases, $100 bonus statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. And the card has no annual fee. The purchase APR is variable, 14.99% to 17.99%. And and another card that you might be interested in is the Gold Visa card. Here you have low APR on purchases, $100 bonus statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. You have a no annual fee, purchase variable APR, 7.49% to 17.99%. So this is pretty good. So one thing you want to do here is that if you're interested in a credit card from PenFed, you might want to double check our video on the subject, but also please look for the low hanging fruit because with bad or fair credit, you want to target the Power Cash Rewards Visa or the Pathfinder Rewards Visa. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about the PenFed Credit Union personal line of credit, and I'm showing you how to get the line of credit, a massive line of credit with bad or fair credit. And step number 5, you need to get your act together. Okay, we've been talking about a lot of stuff. I've been telling you was more what? It was more exogenous. It was more external. It was about PenFed. It was about their products. It was about their credit cards. It was about their loans. Now I want to focus on the endogenous aspect of things, the internal, the personal side of things. Let's talk about you. Okay, don't worry. I'm not really. One thing you need to do is you need to check your credit report for inaccuracies and inconsistencies. Okay, in getting your act together, what I mean is that you want to make sure your credit score is accurate, because the title of this video is we are talking to folks who have bad or fair credit, right? But what if you were not in that category? What if you thought you had bad credit, but you only have a bad credit because you were victim of identity theft or because you were victim of some errors on your credit report? And you're not going to know until you check it out. So this is why in today's conversation, I am begging you to check your credit score if you don't do so on a regular basis. So you kind of find out if there are problems there, okay? And you can go on a website called annualcreditreport.com, where you can get a free copy of your credit report from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You also want to get your personal financial statement together. You can do this through apps or with free software, or if you're like me, you just want to have simple stuff. Just open an Excel spreadsheet and just go through it. All right. And financial statements, you can get those from your budget, expenses versus income, and you have your balance sheet, your income statements, and your statement of cash flows. Those are the three main financial statements. You also want to think about your bank statements, your tax returns. Those are important. Let me ask you a question. Another decision time here. Your tax returns. Are you able to analyze your expenses at the end of the year and sort of have an idea of how much money you're spending on certain things just by looking at your tax return? Do you know a lot of folks do this? People who are very interested in budgeting, they really do that? Because a lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to look at my bank statements to kind of find out, to have an idea of my expenses and revenue. But a tax return is a great trove, is a wonderful trove of data about your finances. Especially if you pay attention to things that you write offs, things that you deduct, your deductions, this is just fantastic. So something to think about. You also want to think about your current debts, okay, your DTI, your debt to income ratio, and consider co-signing or co-borrowing with PenFed Credit Union so that you can get the personal line of credit you are looking for. The next thing I want you to do, if you really want to get a massive line of credit from PenFed with a bad or fair credit, is to meet with the PenFed rep. You really want to talk about your situation with an expert, and an expert from PenFed, an insider, right? And this is important because that expert has a clear idea of the products and services that PenFed offers, and he or she knows exactly what they're offering. And when you have a conversation with them, they can tell you, hey, listen, I think your situation is great, or your situation requires some work. That way, you're not just working. You're not working. You do have some guidance, and this is important because the goal here is to get a high limit, is to get a large amount, right? So you want to speak about your financial situation with the rep. Obviously, you want to talk about your budget. You want to talk about your monthly expenses, your household expenses, right? You want to talk about your income, your pay stubs, if possible. You want to bring everything to the table so that he or she understands exactly what you guys are talking about, right? You want to have also, so your pay stubs, your 1099s, those are important. You also need to have your financial statements, of course. I was telling you earlier that you don't need to do this on paper. There are several free apps, free personal finance apps that help you actually take care of your budgeting, okay? And when you talk to the loan rep at PenFed, please make sure that you talk about the line of credit possibilities. Here, I'm talking about the term, right? So how long they can actually, when it comes to line of credit, you don't have a term really. It's not like a loan where they give you 5 years or 10 years. However, in some cases, they might say, listen, we're opening this line of credit for you for 3 years. Like they're probably just testing the waters to make sure you are a good client, quote unquote, good clients. And after 3 years, they can say, okay, now you're good. And now we're just removing the probationary period, right? So you want to talk about that, the amount also. So you want to have a clear idea of how much they can approve you for. And you also want to talk about your odds of approval. This is why we always advise on this show for folks to go to a branch. When it comes to credit union loans, whether it is business or personal, you want to go to a branch, you want to speak with the lender. Don't just trust the whole thing, the whole internet thing blindly, and just get yourself and your application being taken care of by an algorithm. You want a real person to take care of your application, not an algorithm, okay? So this is stuff you need to think about. Step number 7, folks. You basically need to apply. So now that you have done everything needed, everything that's humanly possible, right? It's about time to apply. Now, to apply for a PenFed Credit Union personal line of credit with bad or fair credit, and you're looking for a large amount, you need first to become a member, right? PenFed is a credit union, as I said, and you need to become a member. And you don't have to have military affiliation to qualify, okay? I've said that before. It's very easy to qualify, not a problem. It takes 5 minutes. You can even call them. You can call them and get all the info you need. And once you do this, you want to first check your rate. So PenFed has a fantastic, really fantastic system in place where they do a soft pull. So you'll enter your basic information, your name, your first name, last name, maybe your social and your address, and they'll basically they'll make you an offer based on what the algorithm has found about you. So they're not checking your credit score. They're not doing a hard pull. They're just doing a soft pull. So what you do is you go through the offer. You go through all the offer by date, by term, by amount, by APR. And if you're comfortable with what they're offering you, then you can proceed and fill out the application, the full application. So after that, they will do a hard pull. So once you say, you know what, I kind of like the offer you guys are making. I love the 20 grand you're giving me at 7% or 8%. I like the term. I like the 5 years, whatever, the probationary period. If you say you like that, then they will do a hard pull. And once you go through a hard pull, again, don't worry about your bad credit or your fair credit. If you do everything I've told you in terms of talking to someone, in terms of opening at least two asset account, a checking account, savings account, and maybe a third one, an IRA account or a money market account. If you do all these things, you would have mitigated the risk that you pose as a fair credit or bad credit borrower to PenFed. And so once you do that, you just get approved, you get reviewed and approved. And once they do that, they will send you something called a promissory note. And once you sign the promissory note, you have to sign it, you have to date it, and then you have to either email it back to them or fax it to them or whatever instructions they give you in their notification. Just follow that, and you will receive the loan proceeds. That they will just wire the money to your account. All right, folks, this was it for today's conversation. I was talking to you quickly about how to apply for a massive personal line of credit with bad or fair credit from PenFed, Pentagon Federal Credit Union. First, you need to join PenFed. Number 2, you need to open at least 2 accounts. Number 3, you want to understand PenFed lines of credits and loans. Number 4, you want to familiarize yourself with PenFed credit cards. Number 5, you need to get your act together. Number 6, you need to meet with a PenFed rep. Very important. Number 7, you need to apply. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.